I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell, and we have here on the radio station Seeking Ever, which is Ernest Galindo from Danville, Virginia, by way of Orange County, right? Are you from Orange County, California? Yeah. And he's made his way from Danville up here to Pennsylvania and had a nice drive up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan's going to, or Ernest is going to play some songs for us here. What are you going to do for us?
The first one I'm going to do is Trapes.
This is Seeking Ever on acousticSongs Live.
Is this cause enough to settle? Or off my heart must I now wean? Under deep duress and let loss ferment and remove its cause from me. I would urge you not to meddle, but you heed not to my plea. And this weary soul has lost its whole and taken life from thee. But my eyes, they grew twine, and my lips were full of spite. I test you not and seal my love and take back what was mine. I was caught in the throes of a wavering gust, and my distance soon declined. And I found my rest on a faulty ridge whose strength would soon resign. I would urge you not to meddle, but I'm begging to a fiend. And a spindle worn from a thread now scorned is tattered at its seam. But my eyes, they grew twine, and my lips were full of spite. I test you not and seal my love and take back what was mine. Glossy eyes, do not dare rest from your angst. I was thwarted not by things unclean, but my face that's fallen from grace. Glossy eyes, rest your sights on golden shores. Keep your soul away from things unclean and keep your heart pure. But my eyes, they grew twine, and my lips were full of spite. I test you not and seal my love and take back what was mine.
All right. Nice. I just wanted to yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a feeling, Cool. I really like that song. The lyrics are awesome. Performance great. I really like that. That's one I didn't hear on the submission, so I like finding new stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's on the EP though.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's good.
So, Ernest, you are from California, and growing up in, is it Irvine? So,
I actually grew up in a really small town in Southern California. It's on the tip of Southern California before you get in the middle, California, and when I was 16, I moved down to Orange County, and it changed my life because I'm not really a small town type of person. I really like being around a lot of people, interacting, seeing new things. So yeah, when I moved to Orange County because my dad lived in Orange County, it was just, yeah, everything changed. Everything changed. Like as far as like, you know, like when I thought about like even playing music and stuff, because I played in high school, I was like, wow, I can like, you know, go anywhere. Like, you know, the options kind of like open up a little bit more, because when you're in a small town, at least for me, it was like, that's it. That's really all that there is. It's just, you know, and then you go to a city and it's like, you know, you can go down 3 blocks away and it's a completely different neighborhood. You know what I mean? Completely different thing. So yeah, and then recently moved across to the East Coast, or the South, I guess. I don't really know. I think it's East Coast, but it's the South, Virginia.
Yeah, I think Danville's southwest or
Southwest, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's right on the border of North Carolina, and especially being from Southern California and really only seeing what's around there, the landscape is just ridiculous. And on the East Coast, it's like the most beautiful landscape ever. And like, you know, California's a desert, Nevada's a desert, Arizona's a desert, you know. So I mean, it's cool. But when you're driving through, you're just driving through desert, you know. And driving up here from Virginia, it was like driving through like a forest, just ridiculous. And there's these beautiful houses that have been there since like the 1800s, and you know, it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah. That's I've done some traveling myself over the years. I've never made it to like L.A. megalopolis. You know, that part. The Southwest is the place I haven't been, but every other corner I've been to. And you know, going out west, like the northern part, Montana, and you first see like, you know, the Rockies, that whole thing, and you're like, from here,
Yeah.
growing up, and then going out there, and it's like, whoa, it's like big sky, you know,
Rolling,
like
yeah.
you can see
Rolling field.
really far, you know. Like I remember like seeing like Devil's Tower Monument and being able, and then I calculated out up from the map. It's like it was 90 miles away, you know, from where I was. I was like, I was looking across like the whole width of the state of Pennsylvania, thinking to myself, you know, that's so crazy, you know. It's just like blows your mind. But yeah, and where you are, like in that area, I think that's kind of considered to be the Piedmont region musically.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cool music history in the Appalachians and down through that part of the country.
Yeah. Virginia and this side, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and all that, history-wise, period, is awesome. Mm-hmm. And then musically, down where I'm at, just a blessing, dude. Just a blessing, because I have met the most talented people. Like, I mean, I met really talented people in LA, probably because a lot of them did come from other parts of the world. But I've met just people that have just floored me. Like, you would only hear it, or at least I've only heard it on like a CD, you know, the way that they play. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, ain't nothing to it, you know? Like, they just do it. I'm like, oh man.
And you're pretty close to Asheville, right? You're
Asheville, yeah.
That's a really cool music community in Asheville.
There's a place called Rocky Mount over there, and I just learned about this place, and they have like a huge music festival, bluegrass. It's pretty much all bluegrass down there, mm-hmm. which is what I love, so I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. But
Merlefest, is that what you thought, or Delfest? One of the two. I can't remember.
I don't remember what the name of it is. I know I was actually I found out recently because I was driving through it, and it had like a picture of a banjo, and I was like, oh, and then it said, you know, Bluegrass Festival, Rocky Mount, like it says, like it's like one of the big festivals, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, those are two that like in that Delfest, Merlefest, that are in that area. That if you get a chance to go, man, they're.
I plan on going to taking advantage of everything that I can out here. Definitely.
So in case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live from WNJR Studios in Washington, Pennsylvania at WNJR College. And we were off for about a month, kind of an extended spring break, Easter holiday. And our first guest back here is Seeking Ever, which is Ernest Galindo. Did I say it right? Yeah. And Ernest is playing a song for us. You want to do another tune?
Sure, yeah, I could do another one.
Okay, cool.
This is off. I think I submitted this one. This one's called Haley's Song.
Okay.
Yeah. Distinctively, I lay out the reasons that you smile. And keeping in mind that we will both play timid for a while, I can't veer my eyes away from thee. If I'm stern, I mean it playfully. I fold to what you ask, sink and gently sigh. Respectively, I'd like to remark about your style. How you smile away and whisper, oh, you're just too kind. But a weary heart has left you to a comfort which you bind. Don't fret, my love, I know you're scared, and so am I. What if I convey a quip-filled charm? Would you like it? Would you like it? What if I would say what's really in my heart? Would you mind it? Would you mind? Well, if it's pure, it's a ritual, is it lost purely visual? I like to pursue it and keep a steady charm. By no means overdo it or cause either of us harm. Maybe if I'm quiet, you might pry and see. For you is why I smile.
Cool. I like that, man. It's like, and I'm hearing like some. I was going to ask you about this as far as your influences. You know, of reading about, you know, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan, Kanye, Mumford and Sons.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye's on there, yeah.
I heard, you know, a little bit of the Mumford in the last song. You know, like some of the rhythm kind of parts of it, right? Not so much like your voice, any of that kind of stuff, and. Your voice really reminds me of David Wilcox a lot. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
You should check him out. Yeah, you in a very I dig your voice, man. It's like really expressive kind of you know, that baritone, you know. Yeah, a lot of yes. But I was going to ask you, like, with your heritage, you're Native American, Spanish, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of detected a little bit of like some of that coming in that, like in writing in that song a little bit, you know, like a little, like some of the rhythmically. Do you find that how any kind of influence from that part of your heritage at all?
Sometimes, like I to be honest with you, I don't know too much about my background, only because my parents and grandparents and everything, like, it's all just everybody's from LA. Parents, grandparents, great-grandparents from Los Angeles. So it's weird to like, they don't really know like too much about it because nobody ever spoke about it. They're just like, we're here. I guess they were like, we're here now, so this is like what we're gonna do.
Gotcha.
I know that my great grandfather or great grandfather or something on my grandma's side, he was born on a reservation, and then my mom's dad, I guess she recently found out, was also born on a reservation. So there's tons of Native American in there, but musically and stuff like that, I guess so. What it really is, why there might be a little bit more diversity and a lot more rhythmic is I'm a drummer. So
okay.
I'm learning guitar and I've learned to play the songs that I've written, but I'm always focused on the percussive part of it. So I'll when I write something, it'll usually be like, okay, I want the rhythm to sound like this, and I can execute the rhythm. And what comes a lot more difficultly is trying to figure out how to do it on here.
Yeah.
And funny enough, like Haley's song, the reason it turned out that way is because I messed up. We were when I used to do shows back home, I had a group of my friends with me, most just ridiculously talented people who decided they wanted to play, some shows, and the girl who, like, she's one of my best friends. Her name is Haley, and she was trying to like figure out how to make it more, I don't know how to say, like more marketable, because a lot of my songs were always more like, I guess, more on the lyrical side. Like I tried to focus more lyrically, and she wanted to do more. A great idea, more of the tune. She wanted to have the tune a little bit more pleasant so that it could reach a lot more of a demographic,
Mm-hmm.
And so I was playing Haley's song, and it originally just went like, And so I was playing around with it and doing like some muting and stuff, and then I messed up and I did it like that, and I was like, it was like our 5th time, and we had to be at a show at like, in like an hour, and I was like, and she was like, just play it like that, just do it. So we did it once through, just like with the new rhythm that I was still figuring out, and she was like, that's it. And to this day, it's my most popular song, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, good on her. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm supposed to be a drummer, and I can't even take credit for the best one.
Well, that's no. I was just wondering, like heritage, like music around the house or something like to that effect. Was there any of that? But apparently not. Not.
Yeah. Around our house, it was there was a lot of Dion and the Belmonts. My mom loves the oldies. So, and I love them too. Dion and the Belmonts, and my dad, he really likes Tower of Power.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So when I went and found out influences and stuff, things that I liked, it was literally, and back when I started listening to music and trying to grasp at like what I can like, there was no phones, like cell phones, like internet was like, only for like, to research something. Like I never was able to get on the internet and like look at a song or something.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to go and like go to Barnes & Noble, and like there would be like that. You could like shuffle. You used to be able to shuffle playlists at Barnes & Noble.
Oh, yeah.
And like check out CDs. So I would do that. And then I was like, oh, Johnny Cash. Wow, he's great. I was like, wow, he's super great. Bob Dylan, like lyrically, I mean, my dad is a great lyricist in my opinion, but.
Your dad is also a musician?
He was a songwriter for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And lyrically, he's been the one who kind of like inspired me to do a little bit, like think a little outside the box,
Mm-hmm.
Tell a story,
Mm-hmm.
and Bob Dylan, as everybody knows, he's the greatest at that. Him, Neil Young, I think I'd put Neil Young up there too, just the greatest at telling you, like opening your eyes and like, wow, I never thought of it that way, but it's so simple,
Yeah.
So.
Those are two on my list for sure.
Yeah.
Like every songwriter, I guess, probably goes, those two guys. But you go back and then you listen to some of the stuff they were listening to, and then you're like, oh, I see where they got it from. Kinda
yeah.
Like but no, I just wondered about that. And in case you just joined us, we have Seeking Ever, which is Ernest Galindo here in the studio from Danville, Virginia. He's playing some tunes for us, and you want to play another tune?
You want me to play another one?
Yeah, you got another one?
Yeah, I'll play one.
Cool.
This is the single. It's called Stagger.
Okay.
with a request. Give unto me a guide to light my step. Warily my strength begins to seep, and my lips begin to mumble at their best. But I won't count it all as lost. Forgive what's not forgot. How honestly I never knew it hurt you that much. Groveling, I beg for your mercy, and my legs begin to crumble at their best. And carelessly I'd shatter my esteem and attempt to bind my reverence to my grief. But I won't count it all as lost, and forgive what's not forgot. Honestly, I never knew it hurt you that much. And so I stagger through the feet to discern what lies in me. Honestly, I never knew it hurt you that much.
Nice. What's the name of that song?
That song is called Stagger.
Stagger?
Mm-hmm.
Great lyrics.
Thank you, man. Dude, thank you. I really try. I'm not gonna lie, I try really hard on those, so I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about this, before we went live. Seeking Ever.
Yeah.
The name.
Oh, okay.
Like how you came up with that.
Okay, yeah. So like I said earlier, it was a way of saying like going after the intangible, which forever, eternity basically is intangible. You can't grasp onto that. You can't even grasp onto the idea sometimes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was younger, I got really sick, and I almost died, you know. Only because they
No, I don't. but
almost died. Well, only because they didn't really know what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
So they kept putting me on like medications and things to try and remedy a situation that they couldn't even identify. You know, so it ended up getting me like I OD'd on medications. You know, and the thing that happened to me is I got a head injury, so my head was already messed up.
Oh man.
And it gave me epilepsy, but they couldn't identify it until somebody. I think it was a guess from one of my doctors. They were like, it could be epilepsy because I noticed he's blacking out, you know. And so then it was just like oh yeah, he has epilepsy, you know. And then it was like boom, you know.
And then that was it.
That was it, and I outgrew it. Like it's not even like it's carrying away, you know. Like I outgrew everything that happened. I'm still colorblind because where I got hit on my head, I got hit on the side. I was snowboarding, and it was a snowboarding accident.
How old were you?
I was 9, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so...
your parents must have been just, like, freaking out about...
Yeah, my sweet mother, she had a hard time. My dad, too, he was just like... It was more like... For him, it was more medications. Like, he was like, why is there so many medications? And for her, it was like, what is the actual problem? So they were both worrying about... two different things, and with that, it was chaos, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so when I started Seeking Ever, I started writing all these songs, and a lot of them are about my faith, about Christianity and about how I view the world now, in lieu of that, because when I was younger, death was always like a little bit, it's always really scary. It's more daunting, I guess, because it's like you don't know what's going to happen. It's lingering over you. And with that experience, it became a little bit more easy to swallow. Not something that I want, obviously, but...
Yeah, but well, the lyrics are deep. There's some substance there. So I can, you got something to say. You're not just writing a song about, a relationship or, even the rhyming stuff of, like right, night, like, like these like, kind of trite kind of things that, I mean, you're definitely, it's poetic, and that's cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it reminded me of how I was, Maya Angelou, was listening to an interview or something where she would, to write poetry, like her office, she would actually rent a room in a hotel, and she had like the same room for like all this time. She would take a bottle of wine and the Bible, and she would that was like stuff that she would read, like kind of just get the juices flowing of how the rhythm of kind of like the way she would write too. It's very like kind of almost like very formal English, like you would have like the way she would write it and speak it. So she would have the King James. Yeah. So that's what she would use as a way to get the juices flowing and stuff. And I thought that, wow, that's a really, because sometimes words are hard to come by.
I think expression is really hard, and then trying to put it into words without like trying to figure out like what you're actually trying to say, like, because you could be like, I'm happy, but it's like, no, that's not what I want to say. Like, I'm overjoyed, like I'm exuberant, whatever, you know what I mean? Like trying to figure out what you're trying to say is what's hard. And then when the right word comes, I guess, then it's like deals in your, at least for me lyrically and stuff, it's just like that's where the whole theme would come from, like Stagger, like the whole theme of Stagger is not relying on my own accomplishments, but kind of sifting through somebody else's accomplishments. For me, it was Jesus Christ and his accomplishments, and so you're kind of like looking to see, or for me, it was like looking to see like what am I actually inspired by? Am I inspired by the movement? Am I inspired by the idea, or am I inspired by what he actually did and what happened as a consequence of that, or him doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So that song was diving more into that, which only made my faith grow, which was good for me. But yeah, identifying everything, and like we were talking about Haley's song earlier, lyrically, that's probably the only love song that I've ever written, and it wasn't really for anybody. It was just the idea of when I first met someone special, which it's been a while, but what actually went through my mind, it was trying to identify like what was actually going on, yeah, and so
yeah,
it's cool, man. It's cool when you try and think outside the box, and you try and I live on a thesaurus. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not very good at the English language to where I know all these words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
in a rhyming dictionary, I know that Steng is the one that turned me on to that. He's like, I use a rhyming dictionary. I'm like, well, hey, if it's good enough for him,
right?
It's good enough for me.
Some people might be naturally gifted at that, and I'm not, and I'm man enough to admit it. So I have to like sift through and like do a lot of reading, which reading is tedious for me at times. But yeah, so I do a lot to make a song to where it'll mean something to me 20 years from now. And like when I sing these songs, like a lot of these were written maybe like 4 years ago, and it's still like fresh, for me. And that's what I wanted when I wrote them too.
That's cool. And you want something timeless, that you'll be able to listen to 20 years from now, and it'll be like, okay.
And it'll be like, oh,
it's still relevant though.
Yeah, it won't be like, oh, what was I feeling? Like that's dumb, like
yeah.
So
yeah, I've revisited some of that in my own archives, and I'm like, nope, not putting that one out. This is WNJR in Washington, Pennsylvania. In case you just joined us, you're listening to Acoustic Songs Live, and I'm your host, T. Mitchell Bell. We have Seeking Ever, which is Ernest Galindo here in the studio playing some tunes for us, and we're talking about songwriting. And you want to do something for us, play another tune?
Yeah, I'm going to tune real quick if that's cool.
No problem. We were also talking when earlier. It's hard to thinking about Prince. The guy and the effect that he just had on just music in general, like the whole MTV generation, and what an incredible musician he was. A lot of people, don't realize, like, he was an amazing guitar player. Mm-hmm. And the first 4 albums he played all the instruments on. So I was, listening to an interview with L.A. Reid on the Today Show, and he was saying how hard that was, that he would actually have to lay down the drum track thinking like the whole song through his head, right? Because they didn't, like, the stuff didn't exist. Like, maybe he had a click track or whatever, but they didn't really, like how they didn't have a computer back then, so he's laying down the track, and then he's putting the bass part on, then he's playing all the different instruments at once and singing and doing all that.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like, a lot of people love him, but I don't think a lot of people, the general, maybe musicians, but they don't give him the honor that he was due. Like, he was a great musician.
Just
a great musician.
Freaking genius. I mean, really, like at the level of, like, Mozart or something like that. Like, some guy, like he was, somebody described it as, he's the Steve Jobs of music kind of guy, where he did like fashion, this. I mean, he put this whole package together where marketing, all that kind of stuff, the music business, putting the slave on his side of his face, the changing his name to a symbol, and like all this stuff. He was like right out there, like doing some really crazy stuff.
Yeah,
in the music.
He's, he will be missed. That's just what it is he was great. He was great to the industry, did a lot for the industry, and not only that, he was great as an artist. Just great guitar player, great musician.
Yeah, that was a bummer. And you feel, and when you see him, it's like John Mayer, when he plays guitar, his face makes all kinds of expressions, right? Yeah. But Prince, when he plays music, his whole freaking body does that. It's like John Mayer's face and his Prince's whole,
I know what you mean.
His whole being is in there, man. So what are you going to do for us?
This song is called These Hands of Mine. I guess this is kind of a lovey song. Sorry.
That's the worst. I know that's the tough. You can go in between tunings, especially open tunings and regular tunings, and it's like getting and then capo it, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. The intonation's always that's something that happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Man. So.
We're just gonna do it.
Yeah. There you go.
These hands of mine feel torn. They're used to being entwined with yours, enveloped in your warmth, and now they dangle at my side and only clench if they are forced. Oh, these hands that molded to yours. And these legs are obsolete. They're used to being the stronger ones when yours would become weak. But now they're frail and they're brittle, and they rely solely on feet. Oh, these legs are obsolete. You could have warned me could have warned me. You could have warned me. Oh, instead of letting me believe. Oh, instead of letting me believe. And these ears are numb to sound. They're used to hear you hum along to the melody I've found. And they long for more than silence, but to my muteness they are bound. Oh, these ears are numb to sound. You could have warned me. You could have warned me. You could have warned me. Oh, instead of letting me believe. Oh, instead of letting me believe. As the air escapes my lungs and pressures out all the words to be sung, I will stop and I will think of when you were all that you were and are to me. And these eyes of mine feel weak. They're used to looking back at you while you look back at me. And in my mind, they sear that moment when they had to watch you leave. Oh, these eyes of mine are weak. And in my mind, they sear that moment when they had to watch you leave. Oh, these eyes of mine are weak.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Man, your voice, like, I was just thinking, like, you sang in choir, you were saying in, like, high school kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was show choir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a great voice, man. It's
really, dude. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I tried really hard when I was in high school because it was like, you know, trying to learn how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got into college, it was like, I'm just going to do whatever I feel. You know, like it was more about feeling it instead of doing it right.
Yeah, they teach you a certain way to sing, and from the diaphragm and all that.
Yeah.
And, yeah. But you're definitely. You could tell you're sing. You know, you're putting yourself into it. You know, it's just not like you're technically singing a song, and you can tell the difference between. You know, the little, you know, enunciation and things like that I find, like, when I'm doing a recording or something, people will tell you, like, oh, you need to just, you know, enunciate certain words and things like that. There are artists that, like, you know, you have to go, like, what is that? What do you say? You know, I was listening to an interview to Prince. I was, like, going through all this stuff, and what was it? Give me a red Corvette, and this one lady, I forget what the she was convinced that the lyrics were something like, I haven't something found yet, or whatever. You know, like, you know, it was like one of those things. It's like he was saying, like, well, let me see the lyric sheet before you talk. It was have a Smiley interview is what it was. Well, let me see those lyrics before you read any of them, because people have, like, you know,
butchered this.
Yeah, they've, like, written down the wrong lyrics from my song, you know, for years. Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah, the tuning part, man. That's just like, you know, don't worry about it. That stuff.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it happens. You know, it's like what I found. You know, get one of those little clip-on little deals, and they help me all the time.
I had one, and I just broke it.
Yeah,
literally just broke it, and so I'm like,
they're cool. They're not that expensive, you know. The things, like, I had one of those pedals, you know. No, I always had to plug in to, you know. And if I'm playing an acoustic thing, then, you know, it's so much easier to just, like, do it that way.
Yeah.
Nowadays they have everything built in. Like, you get all this electronic stuff, and I feel like acoustic instruments should be acoustic instruments.
I don't know if it, because I feel the same way. Like I want to hear the whole sound I love acoustic instruments. I want to hear like everything about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know if I know, you know, if you put more in it, it's obviously not going to sound as loud and stuff. You know, you got more stuff blocking the waves. It's not going to, you know, come out as loud. But I don't know what they do. Like if they do something small like that, and they'll put a tuner or something up here.
Yeah.
Like could be cool, you know, or you know, a separate compartment. I don't know.
It's that under the saddle thing, you know, all the different electronic stuff that's come out over the years. I do have a pickup on mine, but I'm kind of happy with it. One of those bags pickups that goes in the sound hole, it can come out, it can go in, you know.
Right.
So if I do a live thing,
I'd want one of those. That seems a lot more convenient. This one has it in it, but it doesn't pick up the high E when you're playing live.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
that kind of defeats the idea.
It stinks, but I mean, I make it. It still sounds great, and I'm still happy that like this was like my big purchase when I started playing music. I was like, I finally have a guitar that I can use. So like, no complaints here.
Yeah, when you go to like you make that step up in grade, you know, and you go like, okay, this is a big purchase for me, and then you find. I mean, it's like I'm amazed at like what some acoustic guitars cost nowadays. You know, thousands and thousands of dollars, and I don't know if is it really that much of a difference between a high end Martin or Gibson and some of the guitars that you know, like Larrabee or Seagull or Breedlove is a really expensive one too. But you know, they
all have guitars that sound good. I played on some really cool Seagulls before.
Mm-hmm.
I played on some really good Yamahas too.
Yeah.
I had a Fender acoustic guitar. It was a really low end Fender, you know, so it wasn't as good as my Martin, but it was all right. But I heard a theory from my producer. I was telling you about my producer earlier,
right?
And he said as soon as you cross $3,000, there's really not that much difference. Like it'll be in the details. That's what he said. And he was like, you can hear the difference between a $500 guitar and a $3,000 guitar. Mm-hmm. But a $3,000 guitar and a $10,000 guitar, it's probably they just did something with the details. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's ivory.
Inlay and all that.
Something, yeah. So he was like, yeah, it's... And I was like, that's a good theory. That's good because this wasn't... I'm not going to spend that much on a guitar, hopefully, ever, you know?
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, well, there's aged Indian rosewood, you know, that's like 20 years old or whatever, and we're going to use it. And, you know, it's like, well, after you spend it, do you really want to play it out, take it out of the house, you know? Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I wouldn't want to insure a $10,000 guitar, you know, to take out and play. But, you know, there is the difference is if you find a good luthier, you know, like somebody that could set it up and knows what they're doing, they can make a $500 guitar sound like a $3,000 guitar by just the work they do on the neck and the intonation and stuff too.
A buddy of mine, his name is Jason White. He's like the best guitar player that I've ever met. One of the best guitar players I've ever met. Another friend of mine, Andy, he's up there too. But I met him in Virginia, and his dad was a luthier. And his dad made a custom guitar, and we were talking, you know, about Martin, Gibson, you know, like the high-end guitars. And I was like, I really like Martin, you know, I really think it's really loud and good low end, like that's what I like. He was like, you got to see this guitar that my dad made. And I thought he was just being biased. And nope, that guy was like a craftsman, and the guitar that he made is like just perfect, just loud, perfect action, you know what I mean, up and down the guitar, and I was like, this is ridiculous, like, and I would have never heard of it because your dad made this, like, I mean, like, he wasn't like a big name, and this is like a really great guitar. Yeah. So yeah, it's true, man. You got somebody who knows what they're doing. Yeah, they can make anything sound good.
It's like craft beer. It's the same kind of thing. You know? It really is, you know.
It is a good one.
Small batches are good, you know. It's like, so in case you just joined us, we have Seeking Ever, which is Ernest Galindo. He's playing some tunes for us here. You want to do another song?
Sure.
Yeah. And he's from Danville, Virginia, and by way of California, and. What are you going to do for us?
I'll do I guess I'll do another slow one.
Okay.
And, this song is called Recent is the Reason. Recently I've been desiring a feeling I thought I rid myself of for good. I'm distant, I know, but I focus so hard on no longer being close. Lips hold those words that are trying to breach, and heart, I'll take heed before I let you leap. I'm silent, I know, but I've waited so long for you to speak, you to speak. And in few words, you saw my remorse. You saw my character, once weak, now restored. And we wrestled in my sides. Your face was down, hide your eyes. But little did you know, love, I was drawn to the allure of your heart, of your heart, of your heart. Frequently I've been inquiring, will you feel the same as you used to feel? Redundant, I know, but I've waited so long to ask you.
Nice
Thanks,
finger picking.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's nice. I really, it went from one kind of like strumming kind of stuff to into the the delicate finger picking stuff.
Yeah, I really like doing that, and it sounds cool when it's in open.
Yeah. So what you gave me an EP CD?
Yes.
EP CD full length or
No,
just
it's an EP.
That when did you release that?
I finished it in fall of 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and then it's just been slowly. I've just been, getting my name out there, distributing it, and whatnot. Yeah. So
we'll get it into the rotation on the, put it on.
Yeah. I only didn't play one song that's on it, but the Trapes is on it. The first song I did, Stagger, the third song, and Haley's song. There's two versions of Haley's song on there, actually. So yeah, it was nice, and the producer I was working with was I have to say, like, as hard as the music industry is, as you know, as a songwriter and everything, that I've definitely been blessed working with like really talented people, and that's not being biased. It's true. The producer on that, his name was Dan. He had this thing up on Craigslist, and I was literally just like shopping. I was like, I don't want to record in somebody's room, and I have a little bit of money, so I want to record somewhere to where somebody can do it professionally, but it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me. So this guy, I just emailed him, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'll come out to your house and we'll just record it there. And I was like, sweet, you know. He brings like his setup too. Everything was custom. His microphone was custom. His cords were custom. His I don't know what the box is called, but it was custom. He just knew people in the industry and he went to the Music Institute as well. Mm-hmm. So he met a lot of people through there, and they just kind of made these things for him, and he kind of made them himself as well.
Wow!
And I was like, this is really intricate. You know, this is really cool. And then when I heard what he could do, I was like, oh, this is it. You know. And
was this out in L.A.?
This was out. It was in Orange County.
Okay.
Yeah, it was such a blessing to work with that guy. He's actually, I think he's touring right now, because he's, you know, somebody that talented can't just be talented at one thing. So he's a great bass player too, and he's touring with a band right now. And ever since I played banjo for him that one time, now he's asked me recently too if I can do some more banjo. I guess I might be the only banjo player in California. I don't know, but I'm happy with it, man. I'm happy with the stuff that happens on my EP. I did all the instruments.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you whether it was acoustic, you know, like you and vocals, or whether there was a full band.
These songs, every time I write these songs, I have a picture of a full band in my mind. It's really hard to do them acoustically, only because that's what's in my head. But everywhere I've been, it's been mostly acoustic. Mm-hmm. But when I recorded them, I wanted to
full band,
get everything that I could think of. So we had a ukulele, banjo. Obviously, banjo was key in it. There was a slide guitar for a little bit, but that was actually somebody else who did that. And acoustic guitar and light percussion, because I didn't want a full drum kit. I felt it was unnecessary for the type of songs I was doing. Even though I'm a drummer first, so it actually probably would have been easier. And then the vocals, all the harmonies and stuff, I did, and that actually wasn't my idea. That was Dan's idea, yeah. And the way he instructed me on like what he thought would be best, and came out pretty cool. I'm really happy with it.
Cool, man. Yeah. Well, we'll give it a spin, give some songs off of there. And any shows coming up you want to promote? Anything going on?
Yeah, I just got asked to do a show at the Farmers Market in Chatham, which is right above Danville. The opening of their Farmers Market, and then I have on May 13th. There's another show in downtown Danville at a place called Hams.
Okay.
And then I have the International Music Festival in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's going to be in August.
Cool.
So yeah, a few things coming up in the works. Yeah.
And as far as people want to find out, where website go to?
All the information is facebook.com/seekingevermusic. My name with music at the end of it, and then I post everything and I keep it as current as I possibly can.
Cool.
Even down to directions, you know.
Everything's on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Yep. I saw there's Reverb and
Reverb Nation and everything. Yeah, that's more for trying to get the gigs. Reverb Nation and Sonic Bids. But Facebook is just anybody who wants to do anything that comes with my music. I'll send them the link and stuff. So
awesome. Well, hey man, it's been great having you, and I've really enjoyed your songs and your stuff. You want to take us out with something, playing a tune?
I'd love to.
Cool.
I'd love to do. This one's called "If I Was Brave," and it's more upbeat, so we'll end on a high note.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Yeah. I've heard the muffled tones, and each time I held my breath, unmoved so you would know I'm still here where you left. I read into the words you spoke, and each sigh revealed its depth, and each each cringe still takes its toll and weakens my weakest steps. Neath the clamoring, the silence lurks. Beneath the clamoring, the silence lurks. Beneath the clamoring, the silence rings within. I heard as you call my name, each time I hid in shame, but I won't let your voice be faint again. I read into the words you spoke, and each sigh reveals its depth, and each cringe still takes its toll and weakens my crippled steps. And lungs so spent and knees so weak, they long to stand with bended knee, but only if you carry me, and only by your bravery. And I heard as you call my name, and each time I hid in shame, I won't let your voice be faint again. Beneath the clamoring, the silence lurks. Beneath the clamoring, the silence lurks. Beneath the clamoring, the silence rings within.
Well, that certainly was taking us out on a high note. A lot of energy there, man. That was great. Great song, man. Yeah. Thank you so much again,
been a pleasure.
Ernest, and having you here in the studios at Seeking Ever. Check them out online at facebook.com/Seeking Ever Music. And check us out at acousticSongs.com so you can hear and listen to the recording and the video of the song. We also have the podcast on iTunes. You can subscribe to that. And we will be back live on May 7th with Dave Bucher and the Historians are coming here. And stay tuned the second hour to listen to some artists that have played here on the radio station. We'll always feature some artists for the second hour from their CD collection, and tune in next week to hear more of that. We'll have 2 hours of their music. Peace out. It's T. Mitchell Bell. We'll talk to you next week.